Breathe, I muttered under my breath, straightening my tie. My palms were damp. Kareem leaned toward me. Man, you look like you're about to pass out. I'm fine, I whispered. Just a big day. Big day. This is the day, he said, smirking. Don't lock your knees, or you'll faceplant before she even gets here. I forced a chuckle, but my chest felt tight. The organ began its slow, rolling melody. The scent of roses drifted through the air, and I tried to anchor myself in. The priest lifted his hands. Family and friends, we are gathered here today. The heavy wooden doors opened. The murmurs started instantly. Emily stepped in, framed by sunlight, her dress flowing like a whisper across the floor. My breath caught. Kareem nudged me. Wow. I swallowed hard. Yeah, wow. She walked toward me, but there was something in her eyes at distance. I told myself it was nerves. When she reached me, she smiled faintly. Hi. Hi, I whispered back. And you look like you might faint, she said softly. I might, I admitted, smiling. The priest began the ceremony, his voice steady, rehearsed. I nodded at all the right moments, but my mind kept skipping ahead to the vows. I imagined her saying my name, smiling through tears. Her hand was cool in mine. You good? I asked quietly. She nodded too quickly. Yes. We reached the vow exchange. The priest turned to me. Do you, Ion, take Emily? I do, I said without hesitation, my voice firm. Then he turned to her. And do you, Emily, take Ion? I do, she said. Her tone steady, but her eyes darting briefly toward the guests. The priest instructed me to repeat my vows. I held her hand tighter. Emily, with this ring, I promise to be your home. I'll listen when it's hard, stay when it's harder, and choose you every day, for as long as I breathe. A few sniffles echoed from the front row. Your turn, the priest said to her. She hesitated, glancing down at the ring. Repeat after me, the priest said. With this ring, I promise to be your home. She took a shallow breath. This ring, I promise to be your home, to listen when it's hard, to listen when it's hard, and to choose you. Every day her lips moved, and a single word escaped that froze everything. Daniel, the organ faltered. Whispers spread through the crowd like wind in dry grass. My heart slammed against my ribs. What? I said under my breath. She blinked rapidly. I meant you, Ion. I'm sorry. Nerves. I asked. My voice low and tight. Yes, just nerves, she whispered quickly. Kareem's hand touched my shoulder. You okay, man? Kept my eyes on her. Who is Daniel? Her fingers twitched in mine. No one. Can we keep going? I didn't answer. The priest cleared his throat awkwardly. Shall we continue? I nodded once. Finish it. Emily's cheeks flushed. She repeated the last part without the name this time. The priest hurried to the end. By the power vested in me, I now pronounce you husband and wife. Applause broke out. Emily leaned in to kiss me. But I turned my head slightly, so it landed more on the corner of my mouth than anywhere else. Her eyes searched mine. We'll talk later? Later, I said flatly. We turned toward the aisle. The crowd smiled, clapped, took pictures. To them, maybe it still looked like the happiest day of my life. To me, it felt like the start of something I hadn't seen coming as we walked. Emily whispered, Please don't make a scene. I don't have to, I replied. You already did. Her grip tightened, but I didn't look at her. My gaze was on the doors ahead, where sunlight poured in. Every step felt heavier than the last. Kareem caught up as we reached the exit. Bro, what the hell happened? Nothing, I said. Everything. Emily's voice was barely audible. It was a mistake, I said, my tone even. One of us made one. We stepped into the bright open air. The cheer from inside dulled behind us, and for the first time since she'd spoken that name, I let myself take a full breath. It didn't help. The taste of her mistake was still in my mouth, and I knew I'd never forget it. Daniel. The name stuck in my throat like glass. Emily's face drained. Eno, I didn't. You did. I cut in, my voice barely audible over the murmurs swelling around us. Kareem leaned in from behind. Did she just yes? I said, not taking my eyes off her. The priest shifted uncomfortably. Perhaps we know, I said sharply. We finish? Ah! Fingers trembled in mine. Please, don't do this here. Do what? I asked. React to my own wedding? Her lips pressed into a thin line. I'm nervous. I made a mistake. My best friend's name in your vows. My voice was low, but it carried from the second row. My mother's whisper cut the air. What's going on? My father muttered. Later, I ignored them. Where is he? I asked Emily. She blinked rapidly. He's not here. You know he couldn't make it. I know he sent. Regrets, I said, the word bitter in my mouth. I thought it was because of work. Now I'm wondering if it was because he couldn't look me in the eye. Kareem's hand landed on my shoulder. Ayan, maybe no, I said again. Emily's jaw tightened. We can talk after. I tilted my head. Why not now? Not in front of everyone you just humiliated me in front of? Her eyes flashed, not with guilt, but fear. Because you're making this worse. I didn't make this worse, I said evenly. You did the moment you said his name instead of mine. A ripple of whispers moved through the guests. The priest cleared his throat again. Shall we proceed? I gave a humorless smile. Let's wouldn't want to keep everyone waiting. Emily hesitated, then repeated the last lines of the vows carefully, without the name. The ceremony wrapped in an awkward blur, applause breaking out half-heartedly. We walked down the aisle, her grip on my arm tight. Let go, I said quietly. Not until we're out of here, she muttered through clenched teeth. Fine, I sighed. The cool air hit my face like a slap. I took a deep breath, but it didn't help. She turned to me instantly. It's not what you think. You don't know what I'm thinking. You're thinking the worst, she said. I stared at her. Said his name, Emily? The one person who's been in my life longer than you? Her voice wavered. It was an accident. You don't accidentally pull a name like that out of your mouth unless it's already been on your mind. I said, Kareem caught up with us, looking between us. I'm sorry, but what's going on? What? Are we talking? About Daniel? Yes, I said flatly. Emily stepped closer to me. Don't do this here. Not with him standing there. Why not? I asked. You weren't worried about who was listening when you said it at the altar. Her breath hitched. You're blowing this out of proportion. My laugh was short. And sharp? Out of proportion? That was my wedding, Emily. Kareem held up his hands. All right, I'm going to give you 2 space. He walked off, glancing back twice. I stepped closer, lowering my voice. Tell me the truth. I told you it was nothing, she insisted. That's not the truth, I said. You're lying to me. Her eyes darted away. I'm not. I took a step back. I keep replaying the last year in my head. Every time you and Daniel laughed at something I didn't get, every time you told me you were working late, every time he canceled on plans with me last minute but still managed to see you. That's not what happened, she said quickly. It's exactly what happened, I replied. I just didn't see it until now. She crossed her arms. So what now? You walk away from everything because of one word? One word, I said. That means everything. Silence stretched between us. Finally, she said softly, I love you, Ayan. I studied her face. No, you loved the idea of me. And you loved having him on the side. Her lip trembled. You're wrong, am I? I asked her silence. Was answer enough? I turned toward the parking lot. We're not done talking, but I'm not giving you answers now. It's not until I've got every piece of the truth. She reached for my arm. Please don't. I pulled away. Save it. If you're going to lie, at least make it convincing next time. I walked off, my pulse still pounding, the name Daniel echoing in my head like a curse I couldn't shake. I kept my lips curved, teeth showing just enough for the photos. Smile, I whispered to myself. Emily leaned in. Are you okay? I'm perfect, I said, still looking at the priest. Her grip tightened. Don't do this. I'm not doing anything, I replied. Just smiling for the cameras. The priest droned on, his words blurring into background noise. All I could hear was the hammering in my chest and that name echoing in my head. Kareem caught my eye from the side. He mouthed, You good? Gave him the same fake smile. Never better, I mouthed back. Flashes went off from the front row. Guests beamed at us, oblivious to the fact that my jaw ached from clenching it so hard. Emily tilted her head toward me. Please, just get through this. I'll get through it, I said under my breath. Trust me. Forced myself to glance at the crowd, scanning the faces, searching for I didn't even know what. Then my gaze froze. Anna, she stood. Beside Emily. Bridesmaid dress, hugging her frame. Bouquet clutched loosely. Her face was unreadable, but her eyes were sharp. She'd heard it, she'd felt it. Our eyes met for a fraction of a second. No smile, no polite nod. Just that flicker anger, maybe disgust. Emily followed my gaze. Don't look at her, she whispered. Why not? I asked. Because this isn't about her. I almost laughed. Not yet. The priest raised his hand. We will now bless this union. The word felt like a joke. Kareem stepped forward to adjust. My boutonniere. Breathe, brother, he muttered. I am breathing, I said. Not like someone about to faint, he asked. More like someone about to make a decision, I replied. Emily's nails dug into my palm. Stop talking like that. Like, what? Like you're planning something? I kept smiling for the audience. Maybe I am. Anna looked away from me then, shifting her weight. Her jaw moved like she was grinding her teeth. She whispered something to the bridesmaid next to her, who looked confused. The priest motioned for the final blessing. I nodded at all the right times, my mind miles away. I thought about Daniel, his grin, his loyalty that now felt like a scam. The times I'd defended him without question. Emily leaned close again. After this, can we just go somewhere? It's just us. I kept my voice even. We'll go somewhere, all right. She exhaled in relief, not realizing the meaning in my tone. Anna glanced at me again, and this time her eyes narrowed. There was no mistaking it. She was angry, not at me. At Emily. The applause began again as the priest announced us, but it sounded hollow. I let the smile stay plastered, my mind already setting pieces into place. Kareem clapped me on the back as we turned to face the aisle. You did it, man. I looked at him and said, yeah, I did something. Emily tugged my arm, urging me forward. Please, just smile. I'm smiling, I said, every step toward. The exit was a performance. I nodded at guests, shook a few hands. People congratulated me, complimented Emily's dress, told us how happy we looked. I thanked them all, lying through my teeth. As we reached the back, I caught Anna again, now closer. She was standing still, bouquet at her side, watching me with an intensity that made the noise fade around us. Congratulations, she said flatly. Thanks, I replied, meeting her gaze. You enjoying the day? Not really, she said. Emily stepped between us quickly. Anna, could you sure? Anna said, walking away before Emily could finish. I watched her go. Emily hissed. Don't talk to her right now. Why? I asked. Because she's not in the mood for small talk. I tilted my head slightly. I'm not in the mood for small talk either. But she glanced at the guests heading toward the reception. Please, just get through the night. I'll get through it, I said. But it's going to be a night people remember. Her brow furrowed. What do you mean? I smiled wider. You'll see. We walked toward the doors, cameras flashing again, guests laughing. I kept my face calm, my stride steady. Inside, I was already dismantling everything piece by piece, and from across the room, I could still feel Anna's eyes on me. The priest's voice was calm, steady. Now, the exchange of rings. I swallowed, my fingers brushing the small velvet box in Kareem's hand. Here you go. Man, he whispered. My hands felt disconnected from my body as I took it. Emily whispered, It's okay, just let's finish. I looked at her trembling. Fingers. Yeah, I said softly, let's finish. The box snapped open. Ouch. The ring caught the light. Perfect, polished, meaningless. The priest smiled warmly. Ion placed the ring on her finger, and repeat after me. I turned. Not toward Emily, toward Anna. Her eyes widened instantly. She blinked like she wasn't sure she'd seen it right. The crowd murmured. A ripple of confusion. Emily's voice was sharp. "What are you doing?" I took one slow step toward Anna. "Anna," I said, my voice carrying in the sudden silence. "Will you marry me instead?" Gasps erupted. Someone in the back whispered, "What the hell?" Anna's lips parted, but no words came. The priest froze, his mouth hanging open. Emily's voice cracked. "Ion, this isn't funny." I didn't take my eyes off Anna. "It's not a joke." Her bouquet lowered slowly. "You can't be serious." "I've never been more serious, I said. Emily stepped forward. "You're humiliating me?" I turned my head just enough to meet her glare. "You did that yourself." Anna's gaze searched my face. "Why?" "Because I want someone standing here who actually respects me," I said. "Who won't whisper another man's name while pretending to promise me forever." Gasps and low voices swelled. My mother's voice rose from the second row. "Ion, stop this." I didn't. Anna shook her head slightly. "You can't mean this right now." "I do," I said. "If you say yes, we walk out of here together." Emily's voice cracked again. "This is insane. She's my bridesmaid." "And Daniel's sister," I said. "Maybe she's the only one in this room who knows exactly what kind of man he is." Anna blinked. "You know?" "I know enough," I said. "The rest can wait." Kareem stepped up, hand on my arm. "Think about this." "I have," I said. "Every second since she said his name." The priest cleared his throat, trying to regain control. "Perhaps we can—" "No," I interrupted. "This is my decision." Anna's breath was shaky. "You're asking me to say yes in front of everyone, knowing what this means?" "I'm asking you to save me from marrying someone who's already betrayed me," I said. Emily's voice rose. "Don't you dare put this on her." Anna looked down at her bouquet, then back at me. The pause stretched so long the murmurs grew into a dull roar. Finally, she said, "All right." Emily gasped like she'd been struck. Anna stepped forward, eyes steady on mine. "If you're sure, I'll do it." I nodded once. "I'm sure." The priest stammered. I don't think you don't have to," I said. "Just finish it." Emily's face was pale, her eyes glassy with fury. "You'll regret this." I met her stare. "It's not as much as I'd regret staying." Kareem muttered something under his breath, but stepped back. Anna handed her bouquet to another bridesmaid, her movements calm despite the chaos. She stood in front of me, hand steady. I slipped the ring from its slot and held her hand. "With this ring," I said slowly, "I promise to be honest, to be loyal, and to never make you question if you matter." Her lips tightened. "With this ring," she repeated, "I promise the same." The priest looked like he might faint, but he somehow got through the last words. "By the power vested in me, I pronounce you husband and wife." The room erupted. In applause, but in noise. Shouting, gasps, scraping chairs. Emily's mother yelled her name, trying to comfort her. My father stood rigid, eyes locked on me. Anna's hand stayed in mine. "Ready?" I asked her quietly. "Are you?" she replied. I gave a small smile. "More than ever." We turned toward the doors. Emily's voice tore through the noise. "You think this is over?" I looked back once. "It's just beginning." "Ah!" Walked out with Anna, the heavy wooden doors swinging shut behind us, cutting off the chaos. My heart was thundering, but inside, I'd never felt calmer. Anna didn't answer right away. She just stared at me, her eyes scanning my face like she was searching for a crack in my resolve. "You're serious?" she finally said. "Dead serious," I replied. Emily's voice cut through the tension. "Ion." I didn't look at her. "Yes or no, Anna?" "Ah." Her lips pressed together before she nodded, slow, deliberate. Emily's voice rose. "Are you both insane?" Anna's hand slipped into mine. It was warm, steady, the exact opposite of Emily's trembling grip minutes earlier. The priest stammered. I'm not sure this is continue," I said. "Finish it." Emily stepped forward, but a bridesmaid caught her arm. "Let me go," she hissed. Anna leaned closer to me. "You're ready for this fallout?" I'm ready for worse, I said. The priest stumbled through the final words, his voice shaking. By the power vested in me, I now pronounce you husband and wife. The silence that followed was thick, stunned. Not a clap, not a cheer, just the sound of people shifting in their seats, whispering. Emily's mother gasped, "Oh my God." Kareem muttered under his breath, "What the hell, man?" I tightened my grip on Anna's hand. "We're done here," Emily's voice cracked. "Ion, don't you walk away from me." I turned my head just enough to meet her glare. "You walked away from me first. You just didn't use your feet." Her jaw dropped, but I didn't wait. For a reply, Anna and I took the first step down the aisle. The wooden floor creaked under us, each step echoing in the quiet. The guests parted slowly, their eyes locked on us. I felt the weight of every stare burning into my back, but I refused to look at any of them. Halfway down, Kareem called softly, "Ion, think about this." "I have," I said without slowing. Emily's voice followed us. "You'll regret this for the rest of your life." I didn't answer. Anna's grip tightened. "Keep walking." "I'm not stopping," I said. We reached the end of the aisle. The heavy doors looming ahead. Two ushers glanced at each other, unsure whether to open them. I nodded. "Go ahead." The doors swung wide, letting in a burst of cool air and sunlight. We stepped out together, the sound of murmurs and Emily's furious voice fading behind us. On the stone steps outside, Anna stopped. "You realize the war you just started?" "Counting on it," I said. Her brow furrowed. "Why me?" "Because you're not her," I replied. She let out a humorless laugh. "That's a hell of a reason to get married." "It's enough for today," I said. She studied me for a beat. "Not thinking about the scandal?" "No," I said. "I'm thinking about the fact that she chose to betray me in front of everyone. And I just chose not to play along." Anna looked past me at the closed doors. "Emily's going to come after both of us." "She can try," I said. "But she's not the one I'm worried about." "You mean Daniel?" She guessed. "Exactly." We started walking down the steps, the gravel crunching under our shoes. Anna glanced sideways at me. "You didn't even flinch when she shouted your name back there." "I was done flinching the moment she said his," I replied. For a moment, neither of us spoke. The silence outside felt heavier than the chaos inside. Finally, Anna said, No, you could have just walked out alone." "I could have," I admitted. "But walking out with you? That's something they'll never forget." She shook her head, a faint smirk tugging at her lips. "You're unbelievable." "Maybe," I said, "but I'm not the liar in this story." We reached the edge of the parking lot. Behind us, the muffled noise from the hall swelled again, Emily's voice rising above it all. I didn't turn around. Anna stopped walking. "So what now?" I exhaled slowly. "Now, we let them talk. We let it sink in. And then I decide how far I'm willing to take this." She studied me carefully. "And if I'm part of that plan?" "You already are," I said. Her eyes held mine for a moment before she nodded. "All right then, let's walk." So we did, away from the church, away from the stairs, away from the life I'd been seconds away from sealing with a ring. Every step felt like I was writing a different ending. For the first time in months, I wasn't thinking about Emily's smile or Daniel's betrayal. I was thinking about revenge. Anna stirred her coffee without looking at me. "It's everywhere," she said. I leaned back in my chair. "Let me guess. Social media." Her phone was already on the table, screen glowing. Hashtag runaway groom. Hashtag wedding that WASN single quotes. T, and about 6 others I won't repeat. I smirked faintly. Catchy. Half the internet thinks you lost your mind. The other half thinks you're some kind of hero. "I'm fine with either," I said. She finally met my eyes. "Your parents?" "Furious," I said, taking a sip of my coffee. "My father hasn't stopped calling. My mother, she's pretending she's mad, but I saw it. A little spark in her eyes." Anna raised a brow. Approval. "She's never liked Emily," I admitted. "She always said there was something I wasn't seeing." "And now you've proved her right in front of 100 people," Anna said. In front of the world, I corrected. Her lips curved. Just slightly, Emily's family? Called mine first thing this morning, I said. Demanded an explanation. My father told them to ask me directly. I didn't answer. Smart, she said. Not smart, I replied. I just didn't feel like listening to the screaming. Anna sipped her coffee slowly. So what's next? Next, I leaned forward. I figure out exactly how deep this goes. Her gaze didn't waver. You already know, don't you? I shrugged, enough to make the choice I did yesterday. She set her cup down.
Oh.
You knew about Daniel before the wedding. I met her eyes. Yes, she tilted her head. And you still stood there until the vows? I wanted to see if she'd slip, I said. If she'd prove it herself. And I let out a low whistle. You were waiting for it, waiting for the truth, I corrected. Her fingers tapped. Against her cup. And when she gave it to you, you picked me. That surprised you? I asked. Yes, she admitted. Completely, I leaned back. It shouldn't have.
Ow.
You're the only one in that room who didn't look at me like. I was crazy when she said his name. I looked at you like I was angry, she said. At her, I guessed. She didn't answer right away. At both of them. I studied her for a moment. You knew too? Her jaw tightened. Yes. I've known for months. Why didn't you tell me? Because I thought you wouldn't believe me, she said softly. He's your best friend, was I corrected. Past tense. She sighed. Daniel's not the type to admit anything. He'd have twisted it until you doubted yourself. He won't get the chance now, I said. Anna looked out the cafe window. You realize Emily's probably already spinning this? You're going to be the villain in her version. I can live with that, I said. Truth doesn't need to trend, she gave a faint laugh. You sound calm about all this. I wasn't yesterday, I admitted. But right now, I'm breathing for the first time since I bought that ring. She tilted her head. No regrets? None, I said, except maybe not walking away sooner. Her gaze softened. You think this is over? Not even close, I said. They'll try to control the story. I'll let them, because the more they talk, the more they'll slip. Anna's lips curved into the ghost of a smile. You play the long game, always, I said. We sat in silence for a moment, the hum of the cafe filling the space. Finally, she said, You know what people are going to say about me, right? That you stole me from her, I said. And they'll be wrong, I replied. She lost me all on her own. Her eyes met mine again. You really believe that? I know it, I said firmly. Anna nodded slowly, almost like she was accepting a role she hadn't asked for. All right then what? I asked. All right then, I'm in, she said. In what? Whatever you're planning, she said simply. I studied her for a long moment. This isn't going to be pretty, not expecting. Pretty, she said. A small smile tugged at my mouth. Good. She leaned back, crossing her arms. So where do we start? Not here, I said. Not yet. We start by letting them think I'm doing nothing. Anna's brows lifted, and when they let their guard down, it's when we move, I said. She nodded once decisively, then I'll wait. For the first time all day, I exhaled without feeling the knot in my chest. I nodded back. Then so will I. Anna pushed her cup aside. You want the whole truth? I wouldn't have asked if I didn't, I said. She glanced around the cafe before leaning in. Daniel's been seeing Emily for months. I gripped the edge of the table. Long since before you proposed? My chest tightened. You're sure? She nodded. I caught them together once. I thought maybe I'd misread it, but then he bragged to me. My voice was flat. He bragged, her lips curled in disgust. Said I'm stealing him blind and he has no idea. I clenched my fists, stealing me blind meaning Emily. In your trust, she said. Everything. I leaned back, jaw aching. Why didn't you tell me then? Anna looked down. 'Cause he told me if I said a word, he'd cut me off from the family. I didn't think you'd believe me anyway. I would have, I said. Sharply, she lifted her gaze. You loved him like a brother. You would have defended him. I hated that she was right. So all those times he canceled plans with me, he was with her, she said. I shut my eyes for a second. And I thought he was working late or traveling. You made sure you thought that, Anna replied. My hands trembled against the table. We moved furniture together, shared meals, talked about loyalty like it was sacred. That was part of the act, she said softly. I opened my eyes and stared at her. Every memory I have of him is tainted now, she said. I leaned forward. You said he bragged. What else did he say? Anna hesitated. He called you too trusting for your own good. He said you'd never see it coming. A bitter laugh escaped me. He was almost right. Almost, she echoed. I let the words settle between us before speaking again. He's not going to walk away from this untouched, her brow arched. Meanie? I want him to feel exactly what he made me feel, I said. Anna studied me. You're thinking revenge, not thinking, deciding. She didn't look shocked, and Emily. Get what's coming too, I said. Anna tapped her fingers on the table. You can't go at this reckless. Daniel knows how. To cover his tracks? That's fine, I said. I know how to dig. A small, humorless smile touched her lips. You always did. I'll start with what he's hiding now, I said. If he's this careless with people, he's careless somewhere else too. Anna nodded slowly. I can help with that. I studied her face. Why would you? Because he doesn't get to burn me and get away with it either, she said. I'm his sister, and he treated me like a pawn. I leaned back, exhaling. Then we're in this together. She held my gaze. You're serious about this? I've never been more serious, I replied. For a moment, neither of us spoke. The hum of the cafe filled the air between us, but my mind was loud, full of memories of Daniel's smirk, his hand clapping my shoulder, his voice telling me he had my back. It had all been a lie. Anna broke the silence. When you think about him now, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Betrayal, I said instantly, and how easy it was for him. She nodded. Then you know you can't underestimate him. I won't, I said. I'm going to hit him where it hurts, which is, she asked, his reputation, I said. His money, his pride. Anna smirked faintly. That's 3 different targets. He deserves at least 3, I replied. Her smirk faded into something more serious. You'll have to be patient. I can be patient, I said, as long as I get results. Anna leaned back. Then I guess we start digging. I nodded. First step, find out what he doesn't want anyone to know. And when we find it, she asked. I met her eyes. We use it. Anna gave a slow nod, like she'd been waiting for me to say that. All right, Ion. Let's make him regret ever underestimating you. A grim smile tugged at my lips. Oh, I will. And for the first time since the wedding, the boiling in my chest didn't feel like it was going to choke me. It felt like fuel. Anna crossed her arms. So what now? You walk away and hope they choke on guilt? I shook my head. No, I'm not done. Shh. Raised an eyebrow. Meaning, this isn't going to be loud, I said. No screaming, no public scenes. I want it slow, methodical, and complete. Her gaze sharpened. You're talking about dismantling them, piece by piece, I confirmed. Emily. Daniel. Both. Anna leaned back. You sure you want me involved in this? I said, because you know them like I do better, maybe. She hesitated. This isn't going to be clean. It's not supposed to be, I replied. It's supposed to be effective. Her lips curved faintly. All right, where do we start? Information, I said. First, Emily, I want to know every account, every debt, every secret. She's not good with money, Anna said. Always overdrawn, hiding bills from your parents? I smirked. Perfect. And Daniel? Anna exhaled. He's been doing consulting work that's just a front for shady deals. Half the time he's paid in cash, and I doubt he's reporting it. I leaned forward. That's leverage, maybe, she said. But you'll need proof. That's where you come in, I told her. Her brow lifted. Oh, so I'm the mole now? You're the sister, I said. Won't suspect you're helping me. Anna tilted her head. He suspects everyone. But I'll try. Not try, I corrected. Do. She studied me for a moment, then nodded. Fine, but we keep this quiet. If they get even a hint, they won't, I said. We meet. At night, away from anyone who might see us? Anna smirked. You make it sound like we're having an affair. I gave a dry laugh. That'd be the least scandalous thing between us right now. Fair, she said. We agreed on our first meeting midnight. An empty diner 2 towns over. That night, she slid into the booth opposite me, hair tied back. Phone in hand. I've got some of Emily's bank statements, she said quietly. How? I asked. She left her laptop at my place once. I copied everything. I grinned. Remind me never to leave my laptop near you. She ignored that. She's got 2 credit cards maxed, a personal loan she hasn't told you about, and she's been making mystery payments to someone. Name? No, just cash withdrawals, she said. That's something we can trace later, I said. Now Daniel, Anna's jaw tightened. Overheard a call last week. He's working with some guy named Carlton Real Estate Flipping, except it's fake paperwork, fake inspections. I'm guessing money laundering? Can we prove it? I asked. Not yet, but I can get into his home office when he's out. She said. You're willing to do that? Yes, she said firmly. I leaned back. You surprise me? Why? Because I'm not the type to roll over? She asked. I gave her a small smile. Exactly. Over the next week, we met every night, sometimes in that diner, sometimes in my car parked in dark streets. She'd slide manila envelopes across the table like we were in a spy movie. One night, she dropped a folder in front of me. Daniel's client list, she said. I flipped it open. Half of these names are shell companies. Bingo, she said. And the other half? I asked. People who wouldn't want their business dealings public. She said, that's insurance. I murmured. Anna watched me think. You're already building the endgame in your head. I am, I admitted. Emily's going to watch her social circle disappear. Daniel's going to watch his business crumble. Neither of them will be able to pin it on me. You're dangerous when you're calm, Anna said. I met her eyes. Good. As the nights went on, I started noticing things about Hertha, where she leaned in when she was focused, the way her voice softened when she talked about strategy, the little spark in her eyes when she uncovered something big. She was sharp, strong, and that quiet fire in her. It was starting to feel familiar. One night, after we'd mapped out Daniel's financial connections on napkins, she asked, why slow revenge? Why not just blow it all up now? Because instant revenge is loud and obvious, I said. Slow. Revenge? It seeps into their lives. They wake up one day and realize everything's gone, and they can't even figure out when it started. Anna smirked. Remind me never to get on your bad side. Stick with me, I said, and you won't have to worry about that. She tilted her head. And if I do, then you'll see just how patient I can be, I replied with a faint grin. She laughed quietly, shaking her head. You're terrifying. I leaned forward, lowering my voice. Not to you. Her eyes held mine for a long moment before. She looked back down at the notes. All right, Ion. Let's burn them slowly, I nodded. Let's. Anna slid a flash drive across the diner table. Everything you need to take his portfolio apart. I picked it up. You're sure this is solid? Every number is fake, she said. He's been selling the same investment too. Multiple partners. I smirked. Perfect. One anonymous email, and the sharks will eat him alive. She leaned back. You sound almost too excited. I'm not excited, I said. I'm precise. That night, I sat in front of my laptop, typing a short surgical message. No accusations, just enough documents attached to raise suspicion. I sent it to every partner Daniel had. Anna called me an hour later. Done, I said. Now we wait. We didn't wait long. The next morning, my phone buzzed with a name I knew too well. Daniel? I let it ring twice before answering. Yeah. His voice was frantic. Ion, I need your help. Something's happening with my portfolio partners are asking questions, threatening audits. I kept my tone even. Sounds serious. It is. Someone's spreading lies. But then prove their lies, I said. I'm trying, but I need someone I can trust to talk to them. I'm busy, I cut in. He paused. Busy? With what? Life, I said. You should try focusing on yours, he groaned. Man, I wouldn't ask if it wasn't urgent. Then handle it urgently, I said. I've got things to do. Before he could respond, I hung up. Anna texted me seconds later. That was fast. He's already drowning, I replied. By noon, social media was buzzing cryptic posts from Daniel's partners, vague quotes about betrayal in business, and rumors. Starting to form. Emily, never one to miss an opportunity, started posting too. A filtered selfie with the caption, "Some people will show their true colors when it's too late." I showed it to Anna. She's trying to make herself the victim, Anna snorted. Let her. The more she posts, the guiltier she looks. An hour later, Emily posted again. Heartbreak is realizing the person you trusted was pretending all along. I laughed under my breath. Almost makes me feel bad, almost, Anna said. That evening, Daniel called again. I let it go to voicemail. His voice was tighter this time. I don't know what's happening, but I need to see you. Met that night to debrief. She pulled out her phone, showing me a thread of angry messages from one of Daniel's partners. They're threatening to pull all their money unless he explains the discrepancies. It's not pressure. I said, that's the beginning of collapse. She smiled faintly. So what's next? Nothing, I said. We let this one run its course. The more desperate he gets, the more mistakes he'll make. And Emily, Anna asked. She'll keep fishing for sympathy online. I said, and I'll keep ignoring it. Anna tapped the table. This is going to get ugly. That's the point, I replied. 2 days later, Daniel texted me. I know you're pissed, but I really need your help. They're threatening legal action. I sent back one word. Busy. Anna laughed when I showed her. You're cold. Cold as clean, I said. By the end of the week, Daniel had sold off one of his smaller assets to cover emergency expenses. His once cocky voice on voicemail now sounded tired. It's almost pleading. I didn't return a single call. Emily, meanwhile, posted a picture of herself at brunch with some of her friends, captioned, Surround yourself with those who lift you up, Anna. Glanced at my phone when I scrolled past it. Those same friends who were texting me screenshots of her crying about you. I smirked. Exactly. The first strike had landed. They didn't even know where it came from. That was exactly how I wanted it. Anna stirred her coffee slowly, watching me check my phone. Another message? 3, I said, all from Emily. What's she saying this time? I opened one and read aloud. Please, just let me explain. You don't know the whole story. Anna tilted her head. Do you want to know? No, I said, sliding the phone face down. Her story doesn't matter. My phone buzzed again. I didn't look. She's not going to stop, Anna said. That's fine, I replied. I'm not going to. Start. Word of her affair was spreading fast. I'd heard it in passing at a bar the night before, 2 women whispering her name. One of them saying, I heard she was seeing him for months. I never confirmed anything, never denied it either. Anna grinned. Your silence is driving her crazy. That's the point. A week later, I ran into one of Emily's old friends outside the cafe. She glanced at me like she wanted to speak, then looked away. Anna noticed. They're jumping ship. Guilt by association. I said it wasn't just her friends, her. Social media told the same story. The pictures with big groups were gone. Now it was selfies. A lot of them. Each caption more desperate than the last. One morning she posted, Sometimes the people you love the most will destroy you. Anna laughed when I showed her. She's really committed to the victim role. Let her, I said. The fewer friends she has, the louder her loneliness gets. Meanwhile, Daniel's situation was spiraling faster than I expected. He called me one afternoon. I almost didn't answer, but curiosity won. Ion, he said, breathless. I'm screwed. They're pulling investments, man. I had to sell my car yesterday just to make payroll. I leaned back in my chair. Sounds rough. Rough. It's a disaster. I might have to sell my apartment next. Sell it then, I said. he went. Quiet. You don't care, do you? I'm busy, I replied. You keep saying that. What the hell is more important than this? Everything, I said, and hung up. Anna raised an eyebrow when I told her. You're enjoying this? I'm enjoying balance being restored. A few days later, Emily sent a message so long, I had to scroll. She begged for a meeting, said she missed me, claimed she'd been manipulated. I read the first 2 lines, then deleted it. Anna caught me smiling. That good, huh? She thinks I'm going to give her a stage. And she doesn't get one. Daniel's calls came more often, his tone growing sharper. One voicemail sounded like he was pacing. There. Threatening lawsuits now. I can't handle this alone, Ion. Call me back. I de-singled by midweek. I heard through a mutual acquaintance that he'd moved out of his apartment into a smaller place on the edge of the city. Anna and I met again that night. She slid her laptop toward me. You should see this, he's listing furniture online. Cheap. I studied the photos. It's desperate sales at desperate prices. You think he's hit bottom yet? Not even close? I said. Emily's post shifted tone, again less blame, more sadness. One read, maybe some mistakes can never be forgiven. Anna chuckled. She's starting to realize you're not coming back. She can post 1,000 sad quotes, I said. It won't change the ending. Daniel, on the other hand, sounded worse every time I ignored him. And one night he called 6 times in a row, muted the phone and kept talking to Anna. What if he shows up here? She asked. Then he'll see exactly how uninterested I am. I said. By the end of the month, Emily was spending more time alone than with anyone else. And Daniel had sold both his car and apartment. The once smug voices I'd known hers dripping. With superiority, his full of fake loyalty were now thin, uncertain. And each time they fell further, I felt lighter, not happy, not even satisfied, just free. I had just poured myself a drink when the knock came. Hard. Urgent. Anna glanced at me from the couch, expecting someone. No, I said, setting the glass down. The knock came again, faster this time. I opened the door. Daniel stood there, shoulders hunched, his face gaunt. His jacket hung on him like it belonged to someone bigger. Ion, he said, his voice rough, we need to talk. I leaned on the frame. Do we? He stepped forward like he might push past me. Please. Just 5 minutes. I hesitated, then moved aside. Make it quick. He walked in, looking around the apartment like it might have changed since he'd last been here. You've been avoiding me, correct? He turned toward me, eyes wide. Why? I do that was so bad you'd ruin me. I raised an eyebrow. Ruin you? You know exactly what I'm talking about, he said, his voice cracking. The investors pulling out. The whispers. He stopped himself, took a shaky breath. Why are you doing this? I stepped closer until we were eye to eye. I'm not doing anything, Daniel. This is just life giving you what you gave me. His jaw tightened. You think I deserve this? I don't think, I said evenly. I know. He looked away, muttering something under his breath. What was that? I asked. I said you don't understand. It wasn't it. Wasn't supposed to get like this. I laughed once. Sharp. You weren't supposed to get caught. He flinched. Emily, that wasn't don't, I said, holding up a hand. Don't say her name like she's the only reason we're here. He rubbed his face, pacing. You were my friend, Ion. My best friend. And you were mine, I said, which is why it cut deeper when you shoved the knife in. He stopped pacing. So that's it? You're just done with me? Yes. His mouth opened like he had more to say, but no sound came. Anna shifted. On the couch, watching silently, Daniel glanced at her, then back at me. You've changed. I've adapted, I said. There's a difference. He shook his head. You're cold. I stepped toward the door and opened it. Leaving. For a second, I thought he might fight it, that he'd argue or plead. But he just stared at me, his eyes dull, shoulders sagging. You'll regret this, said quietly. I already regretted trusting you, I replied. Everything after that has been easy. We walked out without another word. I closed the door and locked it. My heartbeat was steady. Anna broke the silence. No guilt. Not even a little, I said, picking up my drink again. She smirked. Good, he earned it. I took a sip, the warmth sliding down my throat. He's not the man I knew anymore. Maybe he never was, she said. I thought about that for a moment, then nodded. Yeah, maybe. The city outside my window was quiet that night, the kind of silence that makes every sound inside feel heavier. Anna sat across from me, her hands wrapped around a mug she hadn't touched in minutes. You're awfully quiet, I said, breaking the stillness. She gave a small, almost nervous laugh. I've been thinking about. She stared into the steam rising from her drink. Us. I leaned back. Us, yes. Her voice was soft, but the weight in it was impossible to miss. There's something I haven't told you. Set my glass down. Go on. Her eyes flicked up to mine, then away. I've always had feelings for you. I blinked. Always. Since before all this, she said, her words rushing out now. Before Emily. Before everything fell apart. I searched her face, looking for any hint of a joke, but there was none. Why didn't you say anything? Because you were with her, she said simply, and I respected that. I didn't want to be the person who ruined it for you. I let that sink in. Even knowing what you knew about her and Daniel, her fingers tightened around the mug, even then. I thought maybe it was my place to tell you, but not to take advantage of your pain. I exhaled slowly. Changed. She took a breath, and I could see it, her hands trembling slightly. That day at the altar. When I said yes, it wasn't about revenge or drama or anything else. It was because I wanted to protect you. I didn't want you standing there alone, humiliated. I wanted to save you from more pain than you'd already been dealt. Her words hit me harder than I expected. Anna, I know, she said quickly. Looking down again, it's messy. And maybe I should have kept it to myself, but I couldn't anymore. I rubbed the back of my neck, trying to piece together every interaction we'd had in the past months. Dodd, all those nights we planned. Everything the way you stayed calm when I wasn't. You were already in love with you, she said, finishing my thought. Her voice cracked slightly. I swallowed. You could have told me. She shook her head. You weren't ready to hear it. You were focused on Emily, on Daniel, on the war you were fighting. I didn't want to confuse you or make you question what we were doing. I leaned forward. But you still stood there with me, knowing how you felt. Yes, she said, her eyes meeting mine now, steady, despite the tremor in her voice. Because I would rather you think of me as just a friend who had your back than risk losing you entirely. Something in my chest shifted, something that had nothing to do with revenge or anger or betrayal. That's a lot to carry. Was worth it, she whispered. I stared at her for a long moment. For the first time in months, the heat in my chest wasn't from rage. You saved me that day. Her lips curved into the smallest smile. I tried. You did more than try, I said. You changed everything. Her eyes softened. Then I guess I can live with that. The silence that followed wasn't uncomfortable. It was thick, but in a way that made it feel like the air between us had shifted into something new. I finally broke it. Anna, what happens now? She gave a quiet laugh. I wasn't expecting you to answer that tonight. Well, I said, I wasn't expecting you to drop a confession like this either. She grinned faintly. Fair enough. I leaned back, my mind still replaying her words, the way she looked at me when she said them. You know, for months, I've been focused on tearing two people apart. I didn't realize something better might be building at the same time. Her cheeks flushed. Better. Yes, I said, my voice low. Better. She held my gaze, and this time, she didn't look away. For the first time since everything began, I felt the edge of my anger dull not disappear but soften. And in its place, something warmer began to take root. Anna slid her phone across. The table toward me, you've seen this. I glanced down. The headline read, Local Entrepreneur Files for Bankruptcy. Daniel's picture was right under it, his smile gone. I leaned back. So it's official. Completely broke. Said the article says his assets are frozen. Creditors lining up. I sipped my coffee slowly. Took longer than I thought. She tilted her head. And Emily. I shrugged. Jobless, moved back in with her parents, apparently. On his brow arched. You keeping tabs on her? I said, I just hear things. Do you care? She asked. Not in the way you think. She studied me for a moment. You don't sound as satisfied as I expected. I gave a small laugh. Satisfaction's overrated. They're done. That's enough. Anna rested her elbows on the table. So, no victory speech? No gloating? I shook my head. Did that to themselves. I just gave them a nudge. She smiled faintly. A nudge that toppled their whole world. Exactly. The rest of the cafe faded into background noise. I pulled out my phone and stared at Daniel's contact. Anna watched me. You're going to message him, aren't you? Just one line, I said. Petty or poetic? She asked. A little of both. Her lips curved. Let's hear it. I typed slowly, each word deliberate. Next time you stab someone in the back, make sure they can't reach the handle. Anna let out a low whistle. Cold. It's the truth, I said, hitting send. She leaned closer. You think he'll reply? I shook my head. No, and that's fine. We sat in silence for a moment, watching the rain start outside the window. Feels like the end, Anna said softly. I replied. Do you feel lighter? She asked. I thought about it. Yeah, not happy exactly, but lighter. Her smile was small, but knowing. That's something. I pocketed my phone. From here on out, no more looking back. Good, she said, 'cause I'm not planning on dragging you through the past again. I smirked. Promise? Promise, she said, and this time I believed her. The grass was cool beneath my palms as I leaned back, letting the wind brush over my face. The hill stretched out in front of us. It's the same one where I'd once planned to kneel with a ring in my hand. Anna sat beside me, knees drawn up, her hair tugged gently by the breeze. You've been quiet, she said, glancing my way, just thinking. About her, I shook my head. About me. She gave a small, curious smile. That's new it is, I admitted. Last time I was up here, I was a different man. Anna studied me for a moment. You were in love? I was naive, I corrected. Her brow arched. And now I know better. I looked at her, and I'm okay with that. She let out a short laugh. So this isn't a romantic spot for you anymore? It could be, I said, holding her gaze. Her lips curved. Careful, you're getting sentimental. I smiled faintly. Not sentimental, just lighter. Lighter's good, she said softly. Better than carrying all that weight around. I nodded. For months, I felt like my chest was full of lead. Every breath hurt. But now I exhaled deeply. It's different. Anna's eyes softened. You feel free? Yeah, I said. Free, but also stronger. She tilted her head. Stronger how? I'm not the guy who stood at that altar anymore. The one who thought love was blind faith and trust, without question. She smirked. And now, you're cynical? I shook my head. No, I just see things for what they are. And I know what I want. Anna glanced down at her hands. And what's that? Someone who stands beside me, I said. Not behind me? Not in front of me? Beside me? Her breath caught just slightly, almost hidden. That sounds nice. More than nice, I said. It's necessary. She gave me a sideways look. Do I fit that? You've been fitting it since the day you stood there and said I do when you didn't have to. Anna's eyes glistened in the fading light. You still think about that day? Not the way I used to, I said. Hurt anymore. Just reminds me of where I started and how far I've come. She leaned back, mirroring my posture. No regrets. Not anymore? Not even about me? She teased, but her voice held something fragile. I turned toward her. Especially not about you. A slow smile spread across her face. That's good to hear. The sun dipped lower, painting the sky in streaks of gold and rose. I let the colors wash over me, you know, Anna said. I used to hate this place. I thought it would always belong to her in your mind. It used to, I admitted, but today it's ours. She reached out, her fingers brushing mine. You sure about that? I caught her hand and held it. Positive. Her thumb traced across my skin. Feels different here with you now. Like the air's cleaner, I chuckled. Maybe that's because we're not dragging ghosts around anymore. Anna's gaze searched mine. And if one day the past comes knocking again, I squeezed her hand. We won't open the door. She smiled at that. You make it sound so easy. It's not, I said, but it's possible. The wind picked up, carrying the scent of grass and something faintly sweet from the trees. Below, Anna shifted closer. So what now? I shrugged lightly. Now we live. No plans for revenge. No battles to fight. Just life. She let out a breath. I could get used to that. You should, I said. Because I'm done chasing pain. Her laugh was quiet. That's a relief. We sat in silence for a while, watching the sky deepen into shades of amber and violet. Anna broke it first. You know, I think you're better now than you've ever been. Turned to her. Better how? Stronger. Yeah, she said. But also softer, in a way that matters. I gave her a curious look. Softer. Yeah, she said. You're not carrying anger anymore. You're carrying choice. I thought about that. I like that word. Choice. Yeah, I said. It means I'm not just reacting to life anymore. I'm deciding it. She smiled. The man I want beside me. And that's the woman I want beside me, I replied. The last edge of sunlight dipped below the horizon. I let the darkness settle without fear. Anna rested her head against my shoulder. You know, this might actually be the perfect place to start something new. I wrapped my arm around her. Then let's start.